Hi, okay, this is the second video for the Synergi Plant skill video about making custom screens. And in the previous video, I have shown you the two scenarios here. The first scenario is to create a quite simple HTML screen and define the menu item in Synergi Plant. So the example I use is to show a facility user menu in the facility module. And then the second scenario is about how to call back. If you have a custom screen, how to call back some Synergi Plant existing screen. Yeah, especially running together in the same browser sessions and also the passing the parameter to open existing Synergi Plant screen. And in that example, I used the previous map demo, has been modified to meet this requirement with the new Synergi Plant text screen. So you can drill down to the text, which I will quickly go through that to review these two scenarios. But this part of the video is about the scenario 3, which is to make a custom report. And it's not necessarily need to be the report, but the point is how to get the data-driven page or screen which can get some parameter from Synergi Plant. Okay, so you compare the scenario 2 and scenario 3. Scenario 2 is to call back Synergi Plant screen, and scenario 3 is to call out from the Synergi Plant screen. So you can get some parameter, then you can make your own screen, whether it's a report or your own custom screen for the project. Okay, and the skill required for this scenario 3, still you need to know how to write HTML page. That's of course you need to create a screen. And you need to know some knowledge about getting parameter from the sessions variable. And in this example, I will use the ASP, which is quite easy to understand. And you can also use other skill like make it ASP.NET screen or even some other screen, JSP or JSON data. So it all depends on how you can get the parameter you want from the Synergi Plant. And after that, everything is your code. Okay, and the example I'm going to do in this video is to make a simple, very simple report called the plant summary. And it doesn't mean anything, it's just to show you as an example how to do that. And I divided into 3 different steps, and also it means 3 different level of competence. Okay, so the first step is when you try to do these kind of things, the first step is always to make sure you get the parameter from Synergi Plant. So this is to validate the parameters. And then the second step is to do some database query, get some data from the database based on the parameter you have, and then display the data somehow with the HTML or whatever tool you use. And then the final step 3 is to show you that how to use the Excel to make a layout design for a report and combine your layout with the database script you made in the step 2. So to make it a real report. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, I will show you what we have done in the scenario 1 and 2 in case you haven't seen that previous video. So in the scenario 2, what we have done is to make a new menu item here with the custom screen, which is called the map view. Some of you might have seen this before. And it used the static image with regions defined on the image. So you can cut the region into west, east, north, south. And click on the region object, you can drill down to the next page, which is in this case a production unit or the area view. And follow the same technique, you can go into one unit, production unit or process unit. In this example, it shows the process flow diagram used by the RBI study process. Okay, and in this process flow diagram, you can mark some regions to represent the equipment you want to drill down. And once you click on this equipment, you can drill down into existing Synergi Plant screen. So in this case, you drill down to the attack. So attack screen will be showing, and it's already focused here. Then after that is the standard Synergi Plant function. So you can see from scenario 2 how it can call back to an existing Synergi Plant screen as long as you know the URL and the parameter to pass in. Okay. And then in the scenario 1, what we have done is a very simple page. In this case, the facility menu, which is just an empty page with embedded document, PDF document. So when I drill down to this tag, if I don't know how to use facility module, I can click on the facility menu. Okay, so this becomes a continuous story. And also within this page, we also put some hyperlink, so you can go to the DMVGO website or the product website. Okay, so these are simple HTML stuff. So what we are going to do now is to do a custom report on the plan. So first we go to the asset. Okay, to remind you a little bit on the hierarchy structure, this is related to the example report we are going to make. In Synergi Plant, here the oil and gas plant, this is a plant. Okay, and underneath the plant there are several production units. Okay, so that's everything you need to know for this example, for this practice. Okay, so it's one plant, and then the next level is the production unit. So what I'm going to do a report for a plant, okay, which will show you some simple information for the plant and also some information for the underneath production unit. Yeah, the purpose of doing that is to show you how to get data from for the plant, and also how to get data for the list, for the data grid, because you have more than one production unit. So you know how to handle with the single phone data and also the grid, data grid. Okay, so let's start. I close this first and go to my working folder. So first of all, I will copy this folder. If you remember in scenario 1 and 2, I copy this folder to the Synergi Plant deployment folder. Okay, so I go to Synergi Plant web application and put it under my underscore custom screen. Okay, so put the whole folder here and then rename the folder, remove my pass3. So this is the custom report folder, which I will put my custom report here. Okay, so let's start with step 1. Okay, let me clear the previous result, and then I will copy the step 1. It's already done here, so I will just show you what it is. Okay, I copy this file to a plant summary report.asp file. It is actually a HTML. Yeah, there's nothing inside very complicated, but it is also with some simple ASP scripts. So if you see here, the important thing, as I said, step 1 is always to validate the parameter you get from Synergi Plant. In this case, there are 3 parameters. So imagine when I click on a plant and run this report, it will get first which language. Okay, so there is a language ID and which user. So any report you run, you will get these 2. And for the asset report, you will also get the asset ID, which is the identifier for the plant you select. Okay, so with this asset ID, in fact, you can do whatever you want with that plant. You can do a report, you can do a page, or whatever skill you have. So in this example, as a step 1 in the HTML, it just simply show what is the parameter I get into this report. So it shows the language ID, user ID, and asset ID. So this is what I call the first step, confirming the parameter you get from Synergi Plant. Because after that, it's on the fly. It's all your code, what you want to do. Okay, so now I have this ASP file. So the next step is to define a report which is attached to any plant so that I can run it in Synergi Plant. Okay, and to do that, I need to run the Windows program. So let's try to get another file explorer and go to my utility and the Windows client. Okay, so in here I will find the Windows client application, Synergi Plant client. So what I'm going to do now is to define a report. Okay, it's part of the configuration. So I log in as mgr, and in Synergi Plant, the configuration for a report is in the configurate menu, and it's called utility under the persistent class. Okay, so if you click on utility, you will see some previous report already defined here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a new one. So I call this a plant summary report, just for example, and description plant summary report. Okay, so I create a new utility, and then the next thing is there are actually two important things you need to do. First is to specify the URL. Okay, so that is the utility URL. So this is to say where is your report. This is similar to the new mechanism where you define a menu item and a custom screen. Okay, but in this case I use the old mechanism, which is the utility, and then you define the URL. So here I would try to find my URL. This is actually under the custom screen, custom report. Okay, so this is starting from the custom screen. So I will put the URL here, and this is the URL. And then with the file name, again, go and copy the file name. This is the plant summary report.asp. Okay, so I will define this as my report path for the URL.asp. Okay, and save this. So now I have a new report defined, and then the next thing is to say this report is for a plant asset. So how to do that? You go to association page, and basically it's to say that plant has this report. Okay, so you select association as has report and use the plant as the front class. So you see the two classes automatic plant summary report, your new report. Okay, save it. Okay, that's it. That's the two step when you create a new utility. First to say where is it, and then who will use it. Okay, once you define this for a plant, anytime any user click a plant in Synergi Plant, this report ASP file will get the asset ID passing in for you to do whatever you want to do. Okay, so now the definition is done. So I will go to the web application in here. So now I'm already on the plant. I click on the report. Okay, and obviously there's only one report, plant summary report here, right? And remember what this report does as a step one is only to show the parameter it gets. Okay, so here you see the language ID, something, something, user ID, something, something. The important thing is to see this is not empty string, and it has some number passing in. So actually inside the database for this oil and gas plant, the asset ID is this number. Okay, so by this number, if you know some database structure, you know some data view, you can start to produce your report with the data query. All right, so that is actually what I'm going to do right now. Move to the step 2. So let's copy this first to replace the existing one, and later on I will show you what is in the step 2 file. So I copy this the one I already made into the plant summary report. Okay, so now this is the step 2, and compared to step 1, there are something more here. From the top, it also get the parameters, same as step 1. And the new thing is start to get the data from database. Okay, to do that, you can use any skill you know how to do. And for this example, I use the OLay connection with the inside the ASP script. So you create a Oracle object, session object, and then connect to this database. So this is my database with the TMS name XE and the database user Synergi Plant 0 coup. Okay, so you create a connection. And then you write a SQL statement. So this is how I compile a SQL statement. So basically this SQL statement is very simple. I just select the very basic data from the TSA master. And with the condition that the set ID is the set ID parameter I get. Okay, so this is to select the plant's key, the plant's description, and plant's SAID is already there. Okay, and then run this SQL statement, get the result into record set, and then get the plant key out from the field 0. Okay, so that's a simple ASP syntax. Okay, doesn't matter. You can use whatever skill you have, but the point here is to get the data from the database. I get my key for the plant, and if the description is not empty, I also get the plant description. Okay, into this plant description variable. So that's the first SQL statement. And then the second SQL statement is to query the children production unit under the plant. Okay, so it's a bit complicated, but basically it's just to get the key and description for the production unit, and also get 3 property from the production unit. Okay, this 3 property is from our standard RBI schema. So basically, what they are talking about is the current risk category total cost. As you can see here, this is the total cost aggregate to the production unit level, but it's a current risk category. And then also get a future risk category total cost, and another one, the last one, is a future risk with inspections. Okay, also get a total cost. So basically, I get 3 attributes on the each production unit under the plan, which I'm making the report. Okay, so that's the logic, and that is to show you how to take care of the list, the data list, right? So this query actually has more than one record return, and if you look into the HTML here, so the first part of HTML is showing the plant information. So this is the plant information, the plant key and descriptions. And then this second part is a bit tricky, okay? Because it's more than one record. So this is actually the HTML showing the data for the production unit, but I need to loop it for multiple times based on the record set I get from the production unit query. Okay, so this part before the HTML is the ASP syntax to start with, and after each HTML, you also have this part, the last part, to loop through the record set. Okay, so there's a while loop. Whenever it's not end of file, then you do these kind of things, and actually combine with showing the HTML. So basically, this HTML will be showing multiple times, depends on how many production unit you have, and each time it will get the different value into the variable production unit key description and the current risk, future risk with inspection, and then showing in this HTML format. Okay, so that's the technique. If you have more than one record, you need to loop through each record, and for each record you show in certain HTML. Okay, so this is done. Then we can try to, because I replaced the file, we can try to rerun the report again. Okay, so I click on the report again. Now you see that my step 2 is coming and it's showing a parameter again, the different parameters, and then it shows the plant key and also the plant descriptions. And after that, it starts to loop through the while statement. And for each one, it will show one production unit. So you see that there are different production units coming out. And only in the demo production unit compression train, it has the value of the current risk, the future risk with inspection. Okay, so that's the step 2 to show some data from the database and also showing you how to loop through the data set. Okay, so that's about the step 2. Okay, now we are going quickly into the step 3. Okay, in the step 3, what I'm going to do now is to use a Excel spreadsheet. Okay, and I'm not going to replace the already made step 3. I'm going to start with the step 2. So this is my step 2 report file. And now I'm going to design a layout in the Excel and show you how to combine the layout and your code you made in the step 2. Okay, so let's open this Excel. It's kind of already made, but I will explain to you the content in the Excel. So this Excel, it has some static image. Okay, so whatever you want to put into the Excel for your report, like the logo, like the company banner, or whatever format. And the point is here. Here I have a cell. Actually, it's a merge cell already, and you want to show the plant key. Okay, so whenever you want to show some data from the database, then you use some special syntax. In this example, because I'm using ASP, so it's much easier. I just use the ASP syntax. So this means I want to show the actual plant key here, right? And same for the plant description. I want to show the actual plant description here. So this will be replaced when the HTML is running or is interpreted. And then what about the data grid? Okay, I have a second SQL statement to pull out all the different production units under this plant. But because they are with the same schema, same columns, right? One production unit key, one description, and 3 risk data. So I only need to define one row for the format. Yeah, remember the Excel is only to design your layout format. So in here I said this cell is to show the production unit key, and this one for description, and then there are 3 different variables to show the actual 3 different values. Okay, so this is kind of the layout design I'm talking about when you're making a simple report. So what I'm going to do now, first I will save this as the HTML file. Okay, then you will see what happened. So if I save this as a web page, okay, under the same directory, and it's the HTML, and I only want the one worksheet, not the whole workbook, okay, and I can change the title. So this is my plan summary report. Okay, you can also check some options. For example, the web option, you can say which browser you want to support. Internet Explorer 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so for me, I just keep all default and save the HTML file. Okay, and here it says that what you want to publish. Okay, so basically I want to publish everything. So I will publish it. Okay, so now I have saved the Excel format into a HTML file, right? So let's take a look. Now it is saved into this .html, right? And whatever image, whatever needed, you will be saving into this folder. Yeah, this is the image you will use. Okay, so that's how Excel save as a HTML file. So of course, whenever you want to deploy your report, you need to also bring along with you the folders here, the subfolder here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to combine this layout with the code I already done to the in the step 2. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to use a very traditional tool, the Notepad. Okay, so first I open the HTML. So this is the HTML. Let me put the in the right hand side. Okay, it doesn't matter. I put the HTML file here. So that's the format. That's the layout. Okay, as you can see, once the Excel save into HTML format, it's actually using the XML to represent the data. Okay, that doesn't matter. So the next thing, I also open my existing report. That is the thing I done in the step 2. So I put it here. Okay, so now I have two files. Okay, one is the step 2 report with the data query I already done. And then the next one is the layout file. Okay, the layout file I saved from the Excel. So now I'm going to combine these two, right? So before I combine, for this HTML file, I need to do some tricky things. Okay, I will show you. I'm going to replace a special token. For example, the first special token is called and LT semicolon. What is that? That means the less than signal symbol. Okay, so I'm going to replace that with the actual less than. Okay, I will show you with the file next. Okay, so you see here when Excel is saving HTML, when it meet the special character like the less than or greater than, it will actually be encoded into a special string. Okay, so this is the less than. So if I replace this, replace all of it, okay, and then all my less than will become the actual less than symbol, right? So there are actually mainly 3 different characters you need to replace. The next one is, of course, the greater than. So I will replace the greater than. Replace all again. Okay. And there is another one called the NBSP. This is the space. Okay. Less than and greater than and the space. Okay. Replace all. Okay. So once you replace all of them, I can save it first. I will show you what it does. Okay. For example, I want to find my plant key variable. So now it's replacing this one already replaced to the actual less than, and this one already replaced to the actual greater than. So that makes the HTML with the ASP syntax. Okay, you get it? So once you get the ASP variable, and once you see this HTML syntax, you will replace it. The ASP engine will replace it. Okay, so based on the tool you use, if you use ASP.NET or you use other things, you need to take care of this. How to make your variable become something that the engine can replace automatically. Okay, so that's actually I'm also going to show you the actual format related to the data. So here is the format showing the plant key, and then the next one is showing plant description, if you remember the layout. And then after that, it start to another format. So now here you see that from this table row, it start to show the production unit key, production description, and the 3 different risk value. So this table row, HTML table row, is the actual data row we made in the Excel file. Okay, so I want to make some space here because I'm going to do some magic here for this data row. Okay, So now we can start to combine. And how to combine it? It's actually quite easy. First, the header of the file, you can put in all your SP code. So I copy this and paste here. Okay, so I have copied all my beginning ASP code here. Okay, and then the next thing is actually to take care of the loop, right? So remember this table, this HTML file here is to show in the production unit. And before that, I have some code, and after that, I have some code. So first, I will copy the before part to the actual data row, right? The actual data row is somewhere here, right? So I copy this part to before the data row I want to show. This is the data row, right? And then I will copy the ending part because I also need this ASP to loop through the while, right? Loop through the record set. So I copy this to after my data row, right? So you can get it. Actually, I've just, because in the step 2, I use this simple HTML, but now I'm using the HTML format generate from the Excel, okay, which means this data row. And I want it to loop through all the record in the record set 2, which is the production unit list. All right, so now it's done, already combined. Okay, I can close this and I can save the HTML. So now remember the HTML file is the file you already combined as the final report, right? So now I can delete the step 2.1, delete it, and then rename this to my final report, the final ASP file. Okay, no longer used by Excel, that's okay. So now it's done. Okay, let's go back to the Synergi Plant and run the report again. Hopefully it works. Okay, so now you see my layout is same as I designed in Excel, and then I get my variable replaced with the ASP syntax. That's the plant key and the plant descriptions. And then here is the list. It loops through the while loop, loops through the record set, and pull out the data from my query, and to show all the production unit key and the description and all the risks. Okay, so that is done. Okay, actually, so this is show you that different step to make a custom report based on the parameter passing in. Okay, all this work because I can get the parameter in the step 1 when I click on the plant, right? So actually I get the plant summary report for this particular plant, right? And if you want to make some other report using our standard report engine, that's also okay. That's another way. Or you want to make a custom report purely based on whatever technique or tools you want to use. And this could be a way to extend the report or even the screen capability for Synergi Plant. Okay, so thank you for watching this, combining the part 1 video for scenario 1 and 2, and then also the part 2 video for the scenario 3. So these are the 3 different examples I want to show you about making a custom screen for Synergi Plant to extend its capability in your project. Right? Bye bye.